TikTok, time to rock. Welcome back to Leeation for another one great interesting video. So in this video we're gonna take a look at about how do the airlines will come to a conclusion and about which engine to choose for their airplanes, whichever they order to the aircraft manufacturers is what we're gonna take a look in this video. But I also want to say one more thing, which is the engine options won't be available for every commercial airplane. For example, if you're taking a look at A350, it could be of any kind of A350 series plane, A350-900, A350-1000, or the upcoming freighter variant. Okay, all of them is gonna use only the Trent XWB engines, which is being manufactured by who is it? Yeah, Rolls Royce. For a moment, I do really forget Rolls Royce. Anyway, yeah, if for example, if Air India or Emirates, just take a look at Emirates as an example. If they want to, yeah, they already made an order for A350, and if they want to, if they are, while they were making up an order for A350 airplanes to Airbus, and they will also take a look at about who are the aircraft engine manufacturers for this particular aircraft. So when it comes to A350, there is only one manufacturer is there, who is Rolls Royce, and obviously without any kind of a doubt, so Emirates should need to come to a conclusion on choosing up Trent XWB engines for their A350, which they ordered to Airbus. At the same time, if Emirates is ordering 787 Dreamliner from Boeing, it could be a 787-8, 787-9, 787-10. Yeah, and the upcoming 787-10ER. Well, we just want to include the -10ER variant because obviously they're gonna include just an auxiliary fuel tank in it. I don't think any of the engine modification is going to be get happen for extended range of -10 787-10ER. But anyway, let's check to the airplanes, whichever is currently available in our market. So. The first thing, let's take a look at 787. So while Emirates is approaching the Boeing for buying up their 787 airplane, they will make a deal with them for buying the 787. But at the same time, Boeing will let Emirates to choose what kind of, not what kind of engine, whichever engine they need. For example, if you're taking a look at 787 Dreamliner, there were two engine manufacturers were providing the engines for 787 Dreamliner, which is General Electrics from US and also the Rolls Royce. So the General Electrics is providing GE NX engines for 787 Dreamliner, and the Rolls Royce is providing Trent 1000 engine for 787 Dreamliner. So in this situation, okay, Emirates should need to come to a conclusion on what to choose. Should I need to go with the General Electric engine, or should I need to go with the Rolls Royce Trent 1000 for my 787 airplane? They couldn't choose something like, okay, I'll choose one General Electric engine and one Rolls Royce, because that's gonna be a huge mess. Okay, both the engines couldn't be fitted on a single airplane. I mean, by mixing out, like the left engine is going to be a General Electric and right engine is going to be a Rolls Royce. That's an impossible task. Okay, that's not gonna be accepted by the regulatory bodies. And at the same time, if they need to choose both the engines, like, okay, for if Emirates is ordering 10 Dreamliners to Boeing, they couldn't choose something like, okay, we will buy for first 5 airplanes we're gonna use the General Electric engine, and for the next 5 airplanes we're gonna use the Rolls Royce engine. That's gonna increase the cost of operation for them, and at the same time it's also gonna increase the the maintenance and a lot. It's gonna be a big headache for them if you need to take a look on this particular thing from the airline's point of view, because if you are bringing up these two products for your similar airplanes, obviously you need to train all of your maintenance staff to work on these two engines. At the same time, if you're ordering more engines from a single manufacturer, because of the economics of scale, obviously the cost of production will come down. So obviously the airline will gain a lot of advantages from it. So, what used to get happen is normally airlines used to choose only one engine option, even though if two engine option is available for the airplane, whatever they're gonna order from them to Airbus or Boeing. So in our case, as I said earlier, we're gonna go along with the Emirates choosing 787 Dreamliner from Boeing. Okay, so now the first thing, okay, as I said earlier, for 787 Dreamliner airplane, there were two engine options available. One is from General Electric, the GNX, and also another one is from Rolls Royce Trent 1000. Okay, going along with Emirates. So now Emirates has approached and every contract signing has been done, and now Emirates want to choose which engine should I need to choose for my airplanes whenever it is going to be delivered to me. So in that condition, Boeing is wholly gonna lift it to the hands of Emirates. Boeing is not gonna get into this dealings. Will never try to persuade the Emirates to go with General Electric or Rolls Royce. Obviously, it's up to the freedom of Emirates. So in this kind of situation, Emirates should need to choose only one engine. Okay, I think I'm saying it at the second time in this video. Anyway, this is a wholly unscripted video, so it's just all about speaking enough about whatever it is there, whatever information I got, I need to speak up the whole thing in this video. So anyway, so let's begin about what are the factors that Emirates will go across, okay, while choosing a right engine for their airplanes. Okay, for their some Dreamliner. So the first thing, what they're gonna consider for while choosing an engine for their airplane is number one, brand. Okay, brand reliability. Yes, of course, even though if it is a multi-billion-dollar business, everyone will focus on the brand. For example, just take a look for 787, as I said earlier, currently there were General Electric, Rolls Royce. It's providing an engine option for Emirates airplanes, and I'm sorry, not Emirates airplane, for 787 Dreamliners, okay? So just assume currently, recently before 2 or 3 months, there is some other brand called Leeation has jumped into this engine manufacturing. Not before some months, before some years, there's a new brand has been evolved called Leeation, which is also manufacturing engines, and they also manufacture the best engine for 787 Dreamliner airplanes, and currently it has been certified by the Federal Aviation Administration and also by European Aviation Safety Agency. Just assume, okay? But Leeation, it's a new brand. It's a third brand. There is no Leeation engine manufacturer. Just an example, okay? So in this situation, obviously, for sure, even though the engine what Leeation has produced for the 787, even though if it is very cost effective, even though if it is, even though if it is consuming lesser fuel, at the same time, even though if it is, if it costs really lower to buy it, obviously Emirates is not gonna go with the Leeation engines for their 787 Dreamliners. Because the reason is very simple. For example, just because if an airline is buying up an airplane for their fleet, obviously the airplane is going to sustain in their fleet at least for 10 years. So for these 10 years, whatever the engines they choose, they're choosing for their airplanes, and the engine manufacturer should need to keep on providing all the maintenance supplies and support for them, for the Emirates. So obviously Emirates doesn't know enough about how long this Leeation is going to sustain into the market, or into the market, or into the competition enough about producing engines for an airplane. So for example, if they used to think in all the directions, if Emirates has concluded to go with Leeation engine manufacturer, and suddenly after 3 or 4 years, if Leeation has went on bankrupt, Emirates will be in trouble. Again, they should need to replace all the engines, whatever they bought from Leeation, because Leeation is not existing right now. Obviously, they need to go to, because so because of that, they're not gonna get any kind of maintenance supplies from Leeation. It means their engines will lose the airworthiness, which means all of their airplanes will be grounded until it is being replaced by some other new engines, which could be General Electrics, which could be their current engine options for 787, either General Electric GNX or the Trent 1000 from Rolls Royce. Okay, so this was the situation. Yeah, this was the situation. So of course, so this is the first thing what an airline will consider before buying before choosing an engine for their airplanes, if an engine option were available. In our case, on its own Dreamliner, it's of course two engine options were available, as I said earlier, which is GE and Rolls Royce. Okay, so the first thing what they will consider is the brand reliability. And the number two is politics. Yes, of course, this might be a ridiculous thing for you. What, man? Even the politics, that a kind of a thing which is also playing a role in aviation or even in buying up an engine of an airplane? Of course, it includes a lot of politics. For example, I'll tell you what, if British Airways, for example, take a look at the fleet of British Airways, most of their airplanes has been fitted up with Rolls Royce engines. Not because they are greater, totally greater. I'm not saying they're worse, but still, they're competitive when compared to General Electric's Pratt and Whitney engine. But still, they're a really good company. But that doesn't mean all of those General Electrics and Pratt and Whitney is a joker. The only reason why British Airways is choosing Rolls-Royce for most of their aircraft is just because Rolls-Royce is a Britain brand. If British Airways is choosing the Rolls-Royce engines for their airplanes, obviously it's gonna boost up the economy of their nation because it's providing a lot of job opportunities, which means a good cash flow for the Rolls-Royce and promoting their business. So of course, politics will play a lot of roles into even though while you are buying an airplane. But I mean, while you are buying an engine off an airplane, yeah, even though if you're, yeah, the politics will play a lot, even though if you're buying an airplane. But that's a whole different topic. We're not getting into it. But anyways, stick with the same topic and after what we're speaking about right now. And moving further, yeah, politics. But as I said earlier, in this video we took an example, the main example as Emirates. Emirates, there wasn't any airplane engine manufacturer from Dubai or from UAE, and I mean United Arab Emirates. So obviously Emirates has a whole freedom enough about what engine to choose, and both the Britain and the Americans and the French, all of the, I mean, yeah, in our 787 example, only the Americans and the UK, British is the one which is producing engines for the 787 Dreamliner. So of course, the United Arab Emirates is having a good relationship with both the nations. Both the nations will try their best to pull Emirates towards them, and finally Emirates is gonna do only what is best for them, not gonna fall for these political games. Because they doesn't want to care about the economic cash flow of General Electrics or the Rolls Royce. They want to care only about the cash flow of Emirates Airline and also about the Dubai or United Arab Emirates. So the second thing what the airlines will consider while buying an engine is politics. Okay, if it is gonna fall under politics, it will be forced to buy a particular engine without any kind of doubt. Okay. So the third thing, okay, here is the thing a major thing which will come to play for an airline while they are buying up the new engines for their airplane, which is the cost. I mean the price of an engine for their its own Dreamliner. So now, our Emirates airline has crossed the reliability, okay, the politics, and now they're in the third stage and after about finalizing which engine to choose, either GNX from General Electrics or Trent 1000 from Rolls Royce. So in this situation, they will compare the price of both the price what they enough about what's the price that these engines could be obtained from General Electrics and Rolls Royce, and they will compare the both. And we know everyone wants the cheaper one, right? So this is the third one which will play a role, and the fourth one is fuel efficiency of those airplanes. For example, if the General Electric's option, General Electric's engine option GNX is cheaper than Rolls-Royce Trent 1000, doesn't mean Emirates will directly jump into buying the GNX engines. Rather, they were gonna compare all of this thing, which is also fuel efficiency. Because Emirates is not gonna just buy the engine and just they're gonna keep in the showcase. Rather, they're gonna use it for maybe for a decade or more than a decade, for years and years. They're gonna use it. So of course they're gonna compare both the engines' fuel efficiency and ask about how much quantity of fuel that these both of these engines were consuming for per mile or for hundreds of miles. Like that, all of these comparisons will be made. So the fourth comparison, what the Emirates will do between the General Electrics GE and its engine and the Rolls Royce Trent 1000 is the fuel efficiency of these two these two engines, which is engine option for 787 Dreamliner. Okay, this is the fourth factor. And the fifth factor, what the Emirates will consider while choosing an right engine option for their particular airplane is the maintenance cost of the engine. Is of course, the airplane's engines require a lot of maintenance, oftenly, or periodic maintenance that's gonna cost really, really, really huge. And at the same time, when it comes to maintenance cost, they're gonna take both the GE units and Rolls Royce. First, they're gonna compare how often the maintenance should need to be done for both the GE units and Trent 1000. Okay, this is the first comparison under the maintenance, under the engine maintenance. Okay, how often we need to do the maintenance for these two engines. Okay, and how much does it cost? How intense the maintenance is going to be? How long the maintenance should need to get happen? Okay, all of these comparisons will be done and finally they will most probably they will go with the engine which requires a lesser maintenance and not the engine which requires a lot of maintenance. But that doesn't mean this is the only factor. Again, remember, this is just a fifth factor. Okay, so the fifth factor is they're gonna compare the maintenance cost of an engine of these engines, because maintenance is really a huge thing for the engine, because the airplane should, if some kind of a maintenance should need to be done for these engines of an airplane, obviously the airplane need to be take off from its operation, need to be sent to the hangar, and a lot of times and it's going to spend some days inside of the hangar, and it's not going to take airborne, or neither is going to carry any passenger, which means it's not going to make any kind of revenue for Emirates Airline, which is a loss. So obviously Emirates won't like the engine which requires the maintenance much often. So not only Emirates, every aircraft manufacturers will go to the engine option which requires lesser maintenance and lesser time for doing the maintenance. Okay, so the final thing, not the final thing, the sixth factor, what the airlines will consider before buying up and before choosing the right engine for the airplane is the life length of those engines. So again, Emirates went to Boeing for 787, and now GE Emirates or Rolls Royce Trent 1000. What engine to choose? So the final factor, what they're gonna consider is, or the sixth factor is the life length of these two engines. Okay, so if they realize that particular engines life length is really much times lower, of course they will think twice on about should I need to choose this particular engine, because if an engine is going to got a lot of wear and tear within and need to be repaired within 8 or 10 years, just as an example, this is a kind of a huge loss for them, because if that airplane is going, if the 787 airplane Dreamliner is going to be in the Emirates fleet for around 15 years, and if the engine should need to be replaced within 10 years, it's kind of a huge loss for them. So, and at the same time, even though if the airplane is going to be retired within 8 years, and the second buyer will also analyze the engine's health without any kind of doubt, and if they found the health of the engine is much lower, obviously the Emirates couldn't get much revenue while they are selling up an airplane to to someone else, after utilizing it for around 10 or 15 years. So of course normally airlines doesn't want some kind of engine which will will long last for 5 or 7 years. Okay, so the final thing what the Emirates will consider while they're choosing a right engine for the airplane is the life length of these two engines, which is General Electric's GEnx and Rolls Royce Trent 1000. So here's the final mixing up. So now we've seen around 6 factors, enough about 6 factors what Emirates will consider while buying up and while choosing an right engine for their airplane. Okay, which is first one is reliability, and number 2 is politics, number 3 price, number 4 fuel efficiency, number 5 the maintenance cost, and number 6 life length of the engine. So finally, Emirates is gonna mix all of these factors together. Okay, all of these 6 factors, what we've seen till now, together. But for sure, they're gonna remove this politics thing and reliability thing when it comes to choosing a right engine. Okay, so because obviously, you know, if Boeing is recommending General Electrics and Rolls Royce, of course it is reliable. Okay, and General Electrics and Rolls Royce is a kind of a sustainable brand, which Emirates knows well, both is going to sustain in the market for decades. So without any kind of a doubt, they could choose their engines because they knew that neither General Electric or Rolls Royce is going to be bankrupt. They're not going to suffer because of these companies going bankrupt, because they're not going to be bankrupt. Okay, so for sure they will remove the reliability and politics, and they will bring in only the price, fuel efficiency, maintenance cost, and life length of the engine. So finally, Emirates will bring these 4 factors of General Electric's GEnx engine, a Rolls Royce Trent 1000 engine, and mix it together. Okay, now these 4 factors. Once again, I'm saying it: the price, fuel efficiency, maintenance, life length of an engine. Okay, 4 factors mixing up. They will mix up all of these 4 factors and analyze the cost. Okay, analyze the cost enough about how much these 2 engines is gonna burn my cash in its lifetime operation. Is what Emirates is gonna take a look. And finally, there will be only one winner, either GEnx or Rolls Royce. Okay, for example, in our case, just assume in Emirates eyes they see, okay, Rolls Royce Trent 1000. If you're choosing Rolls Royce Trent 1000 for the 787 Dreamliner, of course it's gonna, while we're mixing up all these factors, it's gonna burn a little lesser cash when compared to General Electric's GEnx engine. Okay, and that didn't end up right over there, and then they will put these 2 engines into their mode of operations, in which are the routes these airplanes is gonna fly, or what kind of business models this is gonna get involved into. Either is that going to fly for a shuttle, whether my 787 Dream, whether their 787 is going to fly for a shuttle or long haul, and how often the airplane is gonna fly. And while mixing up this thing together along with the other 4 factors which I said earlier, finally the decision might change. Because the General Electrics might be good at one shuttle, and Rolls Royce might be good at long haul, or the Rolls Royce might be good at short haul, and General Electric might be good at long haul. Okay, so finally, they will mix up the price, fuel efficiency, maintenance, and the life length of the engines, and they will fix all. They will come to a conclusion enough about. They will come to a conclusion by choosing one engine among these 2, by knowing which is gonna burn a lesser cash in its lifetime. And they will put that particular engine into their operation, and we'll see how it is gonna suit for their operation. And they will choose that particular engine for their airplane. Alright, so that's it for today. So now I hope you learned enough about how do the airlines will choose the right engine for their airplanes if there is 2 engine options were available. There is one more bonus point which I do really want to tell to all of you people, which is, do you know that sometimes airlines will also lease an engine? Yes, of course, you might have heard about airlines leasing the airplanes, but the airlines will also lease the engines sometimes. Okay, so yeah, they will also lease the aircraft engine sometimes, and they will pay off the amount by calculate for per hour of operation, or else in a monthly or weekly wise. It will changes according to the contract, but most of the airlines will prefer to pay to the lessor only according to the according to the hours of operation of an airplane engine. This is a bonus point, but still, um, airlines will also choose to buy the engines directly from the aircraft manufacturer. Okay, so both is happening into the industry, leasing the engines and also the buying the engines. But I believe, in my personal opinion, I believe the airline with a lot of cash flow, or the airline with a lot of backed up capital like Emirates, will go only for buying an engines directly, and some of the airline which is not really good at with the great backup will goes with leasing out the engines for their airplanes, because engine is the really one of the expensive part component of an airplane. So that's it for today. Yeah, hope you really learned something, and I couldn't do much editing into this video just because, you know why, just because I'm not having much time. I'm really switched up just because of my academics. My academics is really killing me from my college, but still, I got some time to record this video. So, hope you guys really learned something new from this video. And that's it for today. And thank you. See you all in some other great video.